Kweisi wins Elijah Cummings' old seat. Gervonta Davis charged with battering his ex-girlfriend. And Monique calls out Oprah again. Today on The Diamond K Show. Welcome back to The Diamond K Show here on RadioOnFire.com. Thank you for joining me. So many things going on last night. We had the president spitting a whole bunch of lies in front of the Congress and ultimately to the American people. But at the same token, we did see a bunch of heartwarming moments, as well as some not so professional moments. We saw a lot of things last night for the State of the Union. Always, there's always going to be something when dealing with this president. But as I said in the open, Kweisi Mfume, I'm going to reelected. Because this is a seat that the congressman had in the past. Ironically, he had the very seat that he was running for at one time in his life, right? He was the holder of the seat before Elijah Cummings actually got the seat. But last night, he was reelected in a landslide. And this one, I was able to call this one pretty early. This comes down to one major thing: name recognition. Okay, in a special election, most specifically in a special election, older people are going to be the ones who turn out. What do I mean by turn out? Older people are going to be the ones who come out and vote, the older constituents, right? And when you have older constituents, they tend to vote for a familiar name, familiar face. Kweisi is someone who is 71 years of age. He's been putting in the work. He's a name that many of the folks know. And the fact that he was reelected in a landslide is no surprise, considering that this is a special election, as I said. And during a special election, the older people are going to come out. The younger people that are more on the progressive side that may be talking about Jill Carter and why Jill Carter was not elected. Those young people did not come out. They didn't come out and vote because it's not a presidential election. It's not voting for the mayor. They did not feel the need to get out there and vote. For whatever the reason was, they did not come out in, as they say, in droves and vote. Now, people voted. There was a bigger turnout than I expected. I was talking to my mother about it. I was not expecting the amount of people that came out. However, Kweisi Mfume, as I said, being a name that people know, and that's how this happened. That's how we got here. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing. There are some candidates on there who I definitely would not have wanted to have seen elected. And but also to be fair, there was a Republican that was a finalist, as I like to say, as well. Kim Classic, is that how you say her name? Kim Classic. She on the Republican side. But some of the fifth place Democrats received more votes than her. So there's no doubt that Kweisi will wash the floor with Kim Classic. And people who may not be familiar with Kim Classic. Kim Classic is the Republican activist, she calls herself, who went with a camera crew to Catherine Pugh's house, if you remember that, and went to a camera crew with a camera crew to Elijah Cummings' house. If you remember any of that foolishness, she was the one who, she had like a bullhorn or something like that. She was the one that was outside of these folks' houses, acting crazy, right? She was the one that filmed footage that got some kind of way to Trump that caused him to talk about Baltimore being rat infested, etc. She was the one that posted these videos and tagged him in it, and really gave him ammunition to disrespect Baltimore. Now, let's keep in mind that she didn't create stuff that wasn't there. She definitely is exploiting things that were already present. But she is the one nonetheless. Anyway, so she runs for Elijah Cummings. Ironically, she runs for Elijah Cummings' old seat, vacated by his death. And she was the Republican winner. But this area tends to lean very, very heavily on the Democratic side. So in that seat, she can, as they say, kiss that goodbye. She's not going to be the occupant of that seat, and she should not. Okay, let me say she should not. Cute girl, but yeah. So Kweisi Mfume getting reelected, and some people are not happy about it. This is the stat quo. This is, and you can say anything that you want to say, but people did not come out and vote. These people that are complaining did not come out and vote. This is the traditional Baltimore, right? These are the veterans, as I like to say. These are the legacy folk that came out and voted in droves for Congressman Kweisi Mfume, even with all of his baggage over the years. But I mean, let's keep in mind, this country elected Trump with all his baggage. So baggage in 2020 is not something that people tend to become disenchanted by. Baggage don't mean nothing. The voters of 2020 are very happy with baggage, right? So these people are not upset that he dated a staffer, misappropriated funds, or any of the things that were hanging in his closet. Kweisi Mfume, I'm talking about. They have essentially reelected him back into the Congress, and that's going to go down. But of course, if you feel he's gonna finish out the term of Elijah Cummings. So if you feel like this was a mistake, if you feel like this ain't what you want to do, then maybe people need to come out and vote at the appropriate time. So otherwise, you cannot complain. I mean, you can complain, but it's like a kid complaining about something. Like, what are you talking about it for? Like, you had the opportunity. You had the opportunity to do something, and you chose not to. Right? So you can't then sit and complain about folks who chose to do something and use their vote for a purpose. So Kweisi Mfume, back in the saddle, so to speak. I was at his announcement, and I'm going to say from coming from the point where I saw him announce his candidacy to the point where he has now been victorious, I'm going to say that Kweisi Mfume was probably surprised himself. I think that he was probably surprised himself at the fact that folks voted that he won. I think he was surprised. There was a presser, and that's where the media is asking the candidate questions. This is away from everyone else. This is just a media thing and the candidate. And when he was taking on the barrage of questions about, his deeds in the past or allegations or different things like that, he seemed uncomfortable. He seemed uncomfortable, and he didn't know whether or not it was going to happen. But in this age of Trump, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So congratulations are in order. This is all but a formality. The Republican Kim Classic is going to have the floor mopped with her going against Kweisi Mfume. Kweisi is going to be the one that represents the 7th District of Maryland. So that's what it is. I mean, it's people can be upset. People can feel whatever they want to feel. That is what it is. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about the exploits of Gervonta Davis right after this. Stay tuned. It's the Dominic K. Show. And we are back here on Radio on Fire. Your man Dominic K in here. Thank you for joining me. So on the other side, I was talking about Kweisi Mfume and him getting back his old gig, so to speak. Another person who, guidance is so important. Guidance, proper management, people steering you in the right direction, so important, especially for young people. But older people need guidance as well, right? So you have a boxer from Baltimore, champion, someone who rose from literally nothing to the heights in boxing, right? He is someone who is surrounded by the Floyd Mayweather, the money team, right? Somebody that has rubbed arms with the upper echelon of boxing, right? Nothing but a bright future ahead of him. But as many times is the case with young people without guidance, risking it all. And when I say risking it all, I'm not overstating this, okay? Everyone saw the video by now of Gervonta Davis snatching up his ex-girlfriend, the mother of his children. Everybody has seen that by now. And in that video, which is very disturbing, anybody that may have not caught it, he grabs the girl up by her neck, right? This is in a public place, right? He's in a room full of people, right? So some quick on their feet person grabbed this cell phone footage, and I am so glad that they did. Grab some cell phone footage of Gervonta, a.k.a. Tank Davis, grabbing up the mother of his children, grabbing her up by the neck and, leading her out of the building. So we see this happen, and, many people outraged by it. I saw it over the weekend as everybody else did. And, I instantly felt like, look, who's going to want to do business with him? This is going to affect him. Are they going to strip him of a title? Like, what's going to happen? All right. This is a Super Bowl weekend. So she's in Miami. He's in Miami. There's some scary guy sitting beside him. And when I say scary, I mean, maybe I should say scared guy. I didn't mean scary, like, ooh, he's scary, but just a scared guy beside her, whatever. A lot of speculations. We can speculate what we want, whether they were out on a date or whether Gervonta assumed that they were on a date or whether it was no date at all, but he just didn't want her in the place or whatever. Where are my kids? Whatever he was thinking. Doesn't matter. The light heavyweight championship boxer had to turn himself in yesterday after this cell phone video surfaced, and I'm sure that she wasn't the one that, pressed charges, as they like to say. She probably wasn't one, but it didn't even matter. She didn't have to be, because everybody saw the video. And this is a physical altercation, so he can say in his response to the video that he never would hurt her or hit her or anything like that. This was assault. You already assaulted her. I mean, he's a boxer, so maybe he just thinks that the only way you can assault is by him using his hands, but yoking her up like he did by the throat is assault. He wouldn't want that to happen to his daughter. Come on, let's be serious, right? So he's been charged with simple battery, domestic violence, and processed. This was a charity basketball game on Saturday. And as I said, this was the Super Bowl, so maybe she did something that he did not like. Whatever it was, we don't know. But as I said, thankfully, somebody grabbed that video footage. Now, one thing that I am happy about, the women, when there's been issues with other celebrities in the past, I think that some of them sometimes there's a small group of people that tend to defend the guy and say, you know what the woman did to him, and whether it's an elevator or whether it's a car that they're in whenever the assault happens, something. A small group of people tend to defend a person. Nobody can defend Gervonta Davis. I think that everybody is in unison with the fact that this was wrong. So, simple battery is not something that's going to land him in jail for the rest of his life or anything like that, nor should it. But this is definitely going to be a wake-up call, and I think that this is going to ultimately be something to hang over him. This is not something that is easily shaken. The cloud of abuse. What is his temper like? What happens? And I said this many times. If he did this in front of everybody at this charity game, and yes, the whole world was not watching that charity game, and result of this social media era is that at any point in time, a viral moment can happen, and then everybody's watching that viral moment. And that definitely has become a viral thing, and it is, it's sad, because if things all come crashing down, if Gervonta Davis loses it all because of these type of actions, and let's hope that there are no other actions. What if there are other times where he's lost his cool and other people have grabbed footage of that, and this makes them bring that out? That could happen as well, or this could be a one-time thing, and I'm trying to be on the positive side. This could be a one-time thing, and that's it, and there's nothing else. I hope that that's the case. He's young. I hope that he gets it together and realizes the seriousness and the severity of these actions that he is partaking in. I hope that he sees that, because I like Gervonta and I am rooting for him. What he's done thus far has been monumental, great for the city of Baltimore, and just great for young people around the country. But a hero can become just nothing. I think that Brother Muhammad would say a hero becoming a zero. Like he could easily turn this around, and this can easily go the wrong way, just like that. So definitely, we're going to keep following this story. Gervonta Davis turning himself in. Simple battery is the charge, and we're going to see how things go forward from there. He's been processed and all of that, so we're going to keep you abreast on that. Let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back after this. Monique, she's got a special coming up, so she's trying to sell that, but she has words for Oprah Winfrey, and also Jay-Z has responded to some things, so we're going to come back and talk about that after this quick break. Diamond K Show, stay tuned. And we are back. Yours truly, Diamond K, in here. Radio of... Now, Monique, I like Monique, and I try not to, I try not to have any issues with people from Baltimore when I can. But just like Tank Davis, if they do something wrong, I gotta call it out. You know what I mean? I can't just sit on my hands about it. And Monique is one of those women, just one of those people that she's controversial. And I say that she's controversial because she has a certain way of looking at things, what is her standing, how people should treat her, and the effect of her actions, her own actions. And sometimes some people just don't have a good handle on any of that. And that strikes me as who Monique is. Monique, the comedian I'm talking about. So she very famously has had some issues with Netflix about her comedy special. But it's deeper than the comedy special. Because if you go back and talk about Monique dealing with her issues with Oprah Winfrey, with Tyler Perry, with Lee Daniels, in regards to Precious. She has one way that she looks at this thing, and everybody else may have another way, unless you're her husband, and then you look at it exactly the way she looks at it. But everybody has a different way of looking at it. So for quite some time, Oprah has been on the Monique crap list. Right, but we've already known that. She infamously told Monique to, you know what I mean? Kiss her when the sun don't shine, so to speak. She said a lot of things about Oprah, but she also landed, and this is Monique I'm talking about, landed a comedy special with Showtime. So Showtime is going to show. See that? Anyway, Showtime's going to premiere a Monique comedy special on Friday. And what should be happening now is Monique should be promoting this comedy special. But no, that's not what's happening. Or maybe it is. Maybe it is. Because she decides that what she needs to do is call out Oprah in this open letter. So she calls out Oprah Winfrey in this open letter. And here's the thing about this letter. Okay. A lot of things that Oprah has done are not defendable positions, right? I'm not going to sit here and defend Oprah Winfrey. A lot of things that Monique said about Oprah are true. But to me, at a certain point, it's like, what are you saying it for? Let's move forward. Let's focus on Monique. Let's focus on Monique being successful instead of talking about the past as far as Lee Daniels and Oprah and Tyler Perry. But it seems like we are back here again. So she posted this on IG, and Monique spoke about Oprah producing the Me Too documentary on Russell Simmons. And I've said that. I don't agree with that. I don't like how that whole thing has gone down. And I said that at the film festival, Oprah claimed that she was pulling out of this project, this documentary about a Russell Simmons accuser, pulling out of this documentary because they wanted to show the movie too fast, right? They wanted to prepare. But here's the thing. She has a deal with Apple, Oprah, and she was trying to set it up so this project could be part of her deal with Apple. And the producers of the movie, the directors or whatever, they wanted to go to a film festival, which what happens at the film festival is TV networks have the opportunity to buy a project. And Apple was offended because they wanted to have the first right of refusal. But if this goes to a film festival, then other people are going to bid on it and they potentially could lose. So they were offended. And they put pressure on Oprah. It wasn't Russell Simmons' pressure. Oprah buckled under the pressure of Apple. Now, when Oprah backed out of that, that was because Apple was offended, and it was like, yo, you better talk to your mans and them, that they better not put this at the film festival. Anyway, they put it at the film festival. HBO has purchased this, and HBO is going to premiere this Russell Simmons documentary. So that's what happens with that. Now, let's get back to Monique and this letter. Now, Monique says in the letter to Oprah, you also said, if we make this all about Harvey Weinstein, then we have lost the moment. And continued on to say, when you either are or we're going to be part of the documentary on Michael Jackson and Russell Simmons, how's that not making it all about them? So she's making that contrast, and this a lot of times people have done this, made the contrast that she's very soft on Harvey Weinstein. They've done a lot of business together, and hard on Michael Jackson, who was acquitted in his life while he was alive, and Russell Simmons, who hasn't been charged with anything. So it's just, and that's those are valid points. I don't disagree with any of that. Now, Monique then got into her issues with Oprah, saying, you've watched me as a black woman be accused of being difficult for not promoting Precious internationally for Lionsgate, at Lionsgate, Tyler Perry, and your request, at Lionsgate's Tyler Perry and your request. So Lionsgate and Tyler Perry and Oprah asked her to promote this. She did not, despite the fact that my deal was with Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels Entertainment. So Lee Daniels got them to try to put pressure on Monique to do this. She did not. They said that she was difficult. She seems like she's difficult, though. But that doesn't mean you can't do business with her. But whatever. How are you, for black women, when you hear Tyler on audio saying that I was right and he was going to speak up, but you or him still haven't said a word? She continued on to say, when she met Oprah at 16, she told Oprah that she wanted to be just like her. And Oprah's reply being, you have to work really hard. Monique said, my 16-year-old self did not know that you and your silence in the face of wrongdoing would make my life harder. All right, so she's definitely still harboring feelings of being wronged. And I'm going to say that Oprah could have helped Monique, but Monique's got to help Monique too. And the way that Monique can help Monique is by moving forward and leaving this whole thing in the past and just being successful and not even worrying about this anymore. This is not going to work itself out, or maybe it is going to work itself out, but I don't think that she needs to seek to try to, she just needs to move forward. And I'm glad that she has this outlet with Showtime. I hope that it's successful. I hope that it's funny. I am going to watch it, and I hope that it's good. So she has that coming. As I said, it's coming on Showtime this Friday, and if it's not funny, then that's something else. But we'll see what happens with that. So last thing before I get out of here, there was flack for Jay-Z and Beyonce and Blue Ivy not standing during the national anthem, even though the president did all kind of craziness during the national anthem at the Super Bowl. But anyway, that aside, there were other people that in the room that were not standing up, but for some reason, people are pointing out Jay-Z and Beyonce and Blue Ivy like they have no other vision of anything else in the room. But according to Jay-Z, he was analyzing the national anthem performance. He was not protesting. He was analyzing the performance of the national anthem. Jay-Z is so, I like Jay-Z. I really do. I don't even understand this statement. And did Beyonce need to analyze it? And well, I guess he's speaking for himself. He's not speaking for anybody else. Very interesting that Jay-Z says that he was not protesting. So be clear, he was just analyzing some things. So there you go with that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. course, you want to advertise on the Diamond K Show, you can do that by going to radioonfire.com/promo. And also, if you miss any episodes of the shows, always available on YouTube/DJ Diamond K or YouTube/Radio on Fire. And so I'll be back 7 p.m. See you guys.